Okay, Sagittarius. So I was kind of sitting here thinking of where I wanted to begin. You're coming out clearly as all these kings, really masculine energy right now, meaning there's drive, there is ambition, there's wanting to, like, do things, okay? But I want to actually start with this card and get this one out of the way because it was one of the last things that I talked about in the general. And it's the Solitude card. So it came out with some, I'll leave the Magician in for just a second, but it came out with a lot of weird energy. And this is probably going to happen at the later part, or actually in the middle of September, when we have the opposition with Neptune, where all these planets oppose Neptune. There's going to be a lot of confusion, okay? So the moon is the subconscious stuff coming out to play, but you need to remember that there's beauty, like that's part of the beauty of life, this amazing, mysterious, infinite possibilities that happens with the moon card, that happens when you walk toward the moon or into the moonlight, away from that which is comfortable. The more and more you stay where you are, okay, or to keep certain patterns going, the more confused you're going to be. And there's going to be more questions of like, well, did I miss out? Am I losing? Am I really living up to my full potential? Is this really what my life is supposed to be? Is this my purpose? And all these kinds of big existential questions that don't need to really bother you at all, because as you move forward, you simply embrace whatever the universe has for you, which then in turn is going to pay off with dividends. Clearly, like there's a lot of signs pointing toward, go get uncomfortable, Sagittarius, it's going to be real good for you. Now, in this period of solitude, whether it is just simply emotional or could be physical, again for some of you too, the Magician energy is the manifestation quality, which goes real well with the King of Coins. In a way, I feel like where you are and what's happening right now in your life is a result of your manifestations. It's that conversion between the wanting into the having that trips people up sometimes, because you asked for all these great things to happen, and now when it's sitting there right in front of you on your plate, you're afraid to eat it. You're afraid, like, okay, well, is this really, is this, it's hard to believe. And I feel like that's the big thing, is that it's hard to believe. And you've had this idea of who you are for so long. You've had this idea that now you are that thing. And you're like, oh, okay, wow, I guess I am pretty awesome. Or I guess I am, in a good position. I guess I am ready. And I'm telling you, you are ready. You are ready, okay? Don't be afraid to take the things you asked for, right? Don't be afraid. So here we have the King of Coins. It's interesting that the King of Coins is connected with I always say he's kind of like my Prince of Darkness, because he's kind of on that black throne, right? He is very aware of his own inner shadow. He's aware of his obsession. He's aware of his issues, right? But he embraces them. He's made peace with them and doesn't succumb to them. So here we have the Nine of Swords, which tells me that, and it's reversed, in spite of the Nine of Swords, there is progress anyway. That's what I was kind of all saying, is that I don't think that people watching this comprehensive reading are gonna fall back into that trap. It's just simply not gonna happen, because you're not gonna allow it. Because your consciousness and your awareness of your own Nine of Swords is really all it takes. Simply to be aware of your mind spinning, be aware of your doubts, be aware of your insecurities and your fears. And when you're aware of those things, you then are free to move past them. That's all. Just move past them. Like, you've learned all the lessons that you need to learn, right? Six of Swords. It's about the successes and the failures and the good things and the bad things. And we take all those lessons and all that knowledge and wisdom with us wherever we go, including into our, next life. I suspect this is major karma clearing. You've accrued certain karmas and, hopefully good ones. And now you are clearing karmas with that World card. So now you know. And you're creating, whether you know it or not, there is creationism at play. You are creating a peaceful life, peaceful, joyful life. You are absolutely in a position of resources. Again, if you're like, no, Jane, I'm so broke, that's not necessarily what it has to mean. It can mean money. It can mean abundance in the bank account, but it doesn't have to. It means your love. It means what you are able to give. Now, the King of Coins can be very protective of that stuff too, but I also suspect you've found someone that's not necessarily taking advantage. You are leaving behind, I think this is connected with the Knight of Swords, the circle of people that's not necessarily so great for you. You're stepping it up. But that circle is still present, okay? And this is an opportunity for you to not listen to that jib-jabbing of a past self or the friends that you used to totally always hang out with. You're outgrowing things. You're growing up, right? I don't care what age you are. You're growing up. You're taking it to the next level. And this kind of person does not have play. And I don't see you entertaining them at all. Because what happens when you do is I think you see a negative side of yourself that you really don't like. Okay, you see the questioning and all of the... Because Sagittarius can go cold, right? Like you're a super warm sign and we know how much you love, because when you love, you really, really do. But you also can go cold too with that Scorpio 12th house. Like you have that ability to just turn it off, and the temptation is real to cut off the heart chakra channel, right? Heart chakra right here. Now, what I was saying is you may feel like someone is trying to mooch off of you. And that could be one of the reasons why you're so protective. It's heavy, it's burdensome, someone's asking for stuff. And maybe this, is a person too, a third party individual that's trying to knock your door down and be like, Sagittarius, I really need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And you're going to have to protect your resources, because the resources need to be dedicated here, not here. All right? Someone's going to be asking for something. You may feel like there's a lot of demand on your time. There may be a couple of different people in your life that are requiring things from you right now. And because it's a service-oriented time of the year, it brings out both the beggars and the givers, okay? Both the beggars and the philanthropists. So you're in the position of the philanthropist, the giver, and clearly someone is in the position of the receiver. And yet sometimes the receiver can be a little overzealous and, expect too much. And that's not good. This person may really be expecting you to just be who you've always been. And that can be hard because you're going to probably have to go cold on this person. And it's probably someone that you care about, right? Or it's a part of you that was important in your life, was your whole life up till this point or something. So this is not an irrelevant energy. It's just irrelevant for your future. That's all. There were a lot of lessons learned because of this Knight of Swords, but you're going to need to go cold on this one. Unfortunately, when someone goes cold, it can be hard to be directive with that. So cold with one person may translate into being cold with another person that you don't necessarily intend to be cold with. And when I say cold, I don't mean mean or ghost or be bitchy or whatever. I mean cut the channel off because it's no longer healthy. Be honest, you have to communicate. So let's look at the King of Cups now, because this is the depth. This is the subconscious yearning, the subconscious drive. This is also the part of you that might feel the most uncomfortable with the Four of Swords reversed. The heart is calling to you, right? A lot of moon energy. Look, you guys, moon in the Eight of Cups, and then the moon card. So the keeper of your memories, the keeper of your past lives, the keeper of your karma is certainly showing you, like, don't forget, you know, you're going to have a life after this one. You want to make sure there's progress. You want to make sure you grow. But your heart that has a yearning and a desire for the peace and the fluidity, it's uncomfortable because maybe this is something that, you know, is not so common in your life. And now it's, you know, it's trying to come on full force. So when I was saying don't go cold on everybody, this person, I think, perceives, they're picking up on it. So their heart is really, really, really wanting you, but their head is like, okay, this Sagittarius is not really as invested as I am, or they're hesitating, or they're going quiet, they're going silent, they're cutting me out. So what do I need to do? This person may be in self-preservation mode, okay? It's the head versus heart thing going on with this person. Deep, this person is really emotional and exceptionally intuitive, okay? So they might not be saying anything, but they can tell. Like, they can tell that Sagittarius is trying to not move forward as quickly as they are, and they may be misinterpreting that as you're not interested at all, okay? Which is why communication is important, because this is not an energy of someone who's going to communicate. The Queen of Swords, she's a collector of evidence. She collects evidence for both sides, and she'll use that against you, you know, whenever she needs to. Could be a man, guys. It doesn't have to be a female. I'm seeing you taking on the more king energy, and the other person or people you're dealing with taking on the queen energy. But, you know, this person, they might be making an exit strategy. So you need to be aware. They're not sure how to feel because they're not sure how you feel. They're not sure if they're safe, even though I'm pretty sure they are. But they are having a hard time jumping in with faith. Okay? So if you're perceiving setback in them, it's because they are perceiving setback in you, which might have nothing to do with them at all. Okay? Question is what's going on in Sagittarius's mind? We know that, you know, you're kind of stereotyped as being one of, now female Sagittarians are a lot different than male Sagittarians, right? The expression male and female is quite different, but generally speaking, Sagittarius is stereotyped as being a sign that, like, emotions are like you have a lot of them and you feel a lot, but when it comes to communicating and being vulnerable, it can be hard. It can be hard to put yourself in that space. But that's what this person needs in order to stick around. I'm not saying they're trying to, like, exit right away, but they're also in self-preservation mode. They have to take care of themselves. And so if they're picking up that you've got one foot out the door, they're also going to be one foot out the door. And it can be really hard for that future to form if two people have one foot out the door. You both don't have faith in each other, so where can it really go? So here we have the World, okay, which again, there's that stuck. The stuck feeling, that feeling of being resistant to the future. And that future will turn over when you break the mental pattern. Recognizing and being aware of it is all it takes. You don't, you know, in modification of a little bit of behavior. But see, the thing is that I think you're actually behaving like the kings. So the behavior is there. It's about the mentality. The behavior is there because this is what, you know, you're supposed to do. You're living into that role. You're taking that place. So you're doing the right things, but this is an energy thing, okay? And mentally, As long as you're aware of any self-sabotaging behavior or you're aware of things that may shoot yourself in the foot, you won't do it. Now is time for you to revisualize, okay? Take this time in solitude, use the power of the magician to revisualize your future. Think of it differently, okay? Think of it differently. Incorporate someone else. And if you can't do it, you need to let this person go. Okay? You need to step away from the project. You need to step away from the relationship because they're wondering what's going on. What is my place in your life, Sagittarius? If you need time, tell them you need time. Tell them to wait for you. They will. They love you. They care about you. They want. I think their success is, at this point, they see much more success with you than without you at this time. So, Nine of Swords. Okay. Again, I know I said this in the beginning of the general, but roles can be reversed. Okay, so you can be this one and this could be someone else you're dealing with too. So, look, you're trying to be all protective, but the only thing you're losing out on is the Ten of Cups. This energy is kind of like, it's so silly. Nine of Swords, Nine of Wands. It's so silly to be protective and guarded right now. It simply is only hurting you. This person is a valuable asset. All right, they know how to start projects. And right now, this person may also be doing the Nine of Swords, especially if they have Two of Swords and Queen of Swords coming out. They're clearly all in their head about stuff, and they too they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to understand, and they're probably running rampant with scenarios, right? They're letting their mind just kind of like, well, they're coming up with all these things that are also not real, all right? So they may distract themselves with going to work too. They may separate a little bit and keep doing, like I said, they're going to do it with or without you. They're going to build that business. They're going to have that family. They're going to do that traveling. They're going to do it. And while they are waiting, they're not stopping making plans. They've got their head down. They're really connected with Virgo season 2. They have goals. They have things that they want to achieve. You may both be in your Eight of Coins space, which you're both maybe working on different things. There might be awkwardness between the two of you at this time, okay? Where Mars in Virgo is a very awkward placement. Take it from a natal Mars in Virgo place, right? Because you want to approach with perfection and you don't want to come to the table with anything that's less than perfect. But at the end of the day, you know, who cares? It doesn't have to be perfect. But you're both in your Eight of Coins space, both being productive, both working, both highly valuable, and yet having a hard time meshing. So when we talk about what it all means, that's a part of this, right? What does this all mean for you? What does it mean? Two of Wands reversed. The period of loss is minimal. Feeling loss, feeling like the only thing that's stopping you from embracing a whole... See, being such an adventurous sign, from a judgmental standpoint, I would think that you guys, and also this person too, would be really excited at the chance of doing something totally different. You'd be really excited about completely flip-flopping some area of your life or flip-flopping some kind of behavior. Like it's novel, it's different. So the only thing that's really preventing is like the idea that that's boring or the idea that that hinders you in some way, which is in fact not true. The Eight of Wands can indicate the period of non-communication, but the Page of Swords, look, this is high-level communication, which is not what's needed right now. It's thinking about you. Hey, what's up? Do you want to grab a dinner? You know, but it's not the real nitty gritty kind of stuff. That's going to be the tendency. That's going to be what gets drawn out of this season. Fine, okay. Virgo season might be just more a period of recalibration more than anything. Resetting your mind, resetting your expectations and all of that. But with very little progress with this person. In the material world, in your job, in the things you're trying to create, there's still progress. It's almost as though you put a pin in the big issue, and it's like, we'll come back to that later. You may come back to that during Libra season, or even worse, Scorpio season, when emotions are really high. I highly recommend you take care of it right now. You don't want to wait till Scorpio season to take care of this, because that's when it's Uranus opposition stuff, it's 12th house stuff for you guys, and it's going to be really heated, really aggressive, and it might not have the best outcome at that time. It can be really destructive, right? That's Scorpio season. So do it now or in Libra season, when there's at least a quality of compromise and working together and being of service and giving and all of that. So let's look at Five of Swords. There it is, working. This is the communication stuff. Some of you might need a neutral third party involved, okay? For some of you, it might be like a mediator or a friend or a psychiatrist or a spiritual guru or something that can come in and give you clear-cut, obvious advice, because I think it's going to be obvious to both of you. You both know what you need to do. It's just a matter of having the courage to do it or to say it. So with the Star, this is, in a way, your Five of Swords is actually guiding you into this space of liberation, because as much as you may feel like whatever is going on will restrict you, it is in fact the opposite. It will in fact liberate you. It will allow your heart chakra to open and for you to find joy. So while it might be slightly turbulent, Temperance reversed, you may have a tendency to go extreme in one direction or the other. At the end of the day, it is finding freedom for you, which is totally like your thing. Okay, as we make our way into Libra season, Libra is especially relevant to you because it's connected with the 11th house. And this is a card of Aquarius, so I'm thinking, okay, Aquarius, 11th house, well, that's Libra. So Libra season might be the key for you. So Virgo season, just kind of let things play out. Libra season is the key for you to find the solutions. So Hanged Man is suggesting that maybe there does need to be some shift in consciousness in order for the freedom to be unlocked. That's it. Not a big deal though. Seriously, 3 major arcana, but upon closer look, I'm like, not a big deal, not worried about it. 6 of Wands. Interesting that the 6 of Wands does in fact come from the 5 of Swords, 5 of Coins and 3 of Swords. But 3 of Swords is reversed. So all of your past pain at this point, it literally has no weight. It has no say in this particular scenario, okay? If you are someone who finds yourself drudging up the past at this point in time, you're going to be hard-pressed to really convince yourself that that's a good enough reason to hold yourself back, right? Like it's simply, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to convince yourself that it's good enough. You have so much to be proud of. Any failures, any losses is working in your favor at this time. You have so much to be proud of. I know 2017 was crazy. 2018 was kind of like scrambling, kind of getting up, middle of the mountain. And 2019 has been, all right, we're almost to the top. And 2020 is like, let's relax at the summit. right? We're going to be at the summit. We're going to have made it. And we've made it to this pinnacle moment in our lives. A lot of people changing, the world itself changing and all of this. But like, give yourself props. Give yourself a good like pat on the back and saying, you know what, this life is awesome and I'm going to embrace it to the fullest. Because when you do, that's when the heart chakra really opens. Okay? So the past is in the past. The past is in the past. The only reason for this 5 of coins, I don't think this is real. I don't think there is a feeling of being rejected or being lost or whatever. It might simply be what you're making of it because of this. Something from the past may be playing out, but the realization of that is actually your success. Okay, that is a success. So 9 of coins again with the World card and the 5 of wands reversed. This goes hand in hand with the 5 of swords and the Knight of Swords, right? This is, or the 3 of cups reverse actually makes more sense. The separation from the drama, the separation from the crazy meat market dating world, the separation from the competition at the workplace. Like, you're finding this place of comfort and what life has kind of, all the chaos and the conflict and the competition and me first, and putting your own needs and all this. Like, there's going to be a lot of joy in sharing your needs with someone else. There's going to be a lot of needs that are met, by sharing with someone else. So if you want this world to turn over, which is going to be an inevitability anyway, it can be the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is just throwing up your hands and just going with the flow. I think there's true love that can be found here, true love and respect and success. And then finally, the 10 of wands, coming out with the 10 of coins. Look, this is the 2 of wands right here. This world in his hands is what's right here. So this is you visualizing and ready to pounce into this 10 of coins. But you've been at the 9 of coins, King of coins, that's all for you. The true joy is found when you can open things up and share it with someone else. That's the true joy. So here you are, finding that true joy in spite of it feeling initially like something that is oppressive or something that weighs you down. This is a change in mindset, okay? It's not oppressive, it's not a burden, it's actually, like I said, my liberation. So you're on a really good track, you guys. You're gonna be great. I'm super excited to see how this pans out for you. Again, it's not gonna happen all in September, but this is kind of the beginning stages, and it's important. It's an important time, so use it wisely. All right, you guys, I'm gonna leave you with that. Thank you so much for everything. Take care, and I will see you next month. Bye-bye.